have spoiled our children. We have even become chauffeurs to our children. You drive a child to school. Yeah? Now you are a chauffeur and the child sits at the back and says, Daddy, just stop there. I want to buy a book. And you stop. Yeah? We must demand the impossible. We must set targets, for our children, not to praise them. Me, I never had my father say, I love you. I couldn't even ask him, Daddy, do you love me? He would say, I'm crazy. Whose house do you sleep in? Whose food are you eating? So, what has happened to us is we have got lost in the white wilderness. What other people, other cultures adapt as their way of expressing love is what we have taken on. And that has killed the whole system that was built over 1,000 years. That's why I insist on us knowing where we came from and how long. And that the processes of socialization, we developed it here. We have the total sum of human collective experience. That is why your mother, you could be here. I don't know whether your mother is still alive. Is your mother still alive?
Yes, fortunately.
You could be seated here and a leaf comes and falls on your mother's lap and she says, there's something wrong with my son. We call this a corresponding cosmic connection. Let me tell you something. There's nothing more beautiful than being black.
Tell me.
And there's nothing more beautiful than being a black woman. There is nothing. You have no idea. I see a lot of people bleaching, black people bleaching their skin and whatever. This black skin pigmentation, we call it melanin. It's produced by an enzyme called melatonin. For melatonin to produce melanin, it needs a catalyst enzyme we call tyrosinase 7. If you have no tyrosinase 7, you can't have black skin. But melanin is responsible for a lot of things, how you walk, how you talk, how you welcome people. Melanin also controls aging. It controls fatigue. It controls sleeping cycle. Companies are investing in melatonin. So you already have it. You have more. You are given the biggest gift of blackness to start with. And if you decided to be a trader, there would be no trader better than you. If you decided to be a pilot or to be a scientist, to be an innovator, because there is nothing new under the sun. We have done all this before. I met a sister who is in Egypt. If you go to Egypt, go to Saqqara, go to Kumombo, go to the sacred temple of Seti the First. We did this before. Technology is in us. That's why you can be going to Kabari. Your car breaks down. We had this incident. 4 professors in a car. Mm-hmm. We reach Rakai. The car breaks down. We leave the car to walk to look for the mechanic. But the mechanic never went to school. So he was wearing sandals and smoking, and he came and said, let me listen to the engine. He says, I know what's the problem. The man, 4 professors, they couldn't even solve the problem. Technology is built in us.
Then I'm curious then, with that richness that Africa, has in history, but also, based on what we have here,
yes,
endowed with.
Yes.
Why is it that we're still going, let's say, to Russia to cry, hey, can you give us more food?
Yes.
We're going where? Yet we have a young generation.
Yes.
We are almost croaking we are more than 1 billion, I understand.
Yes.
Africa.
Yes.
How is it that we cannot feed ourselves? What's wrong with us?
Well, it's not what's wrong with us. It is what right are we not exercising? You see, Africa is divided between those who think that they are educated, that they know. These are the people who get privileges. But who are those? Those are the people that have studied European propaganda. We call it education, but it is propaganda. It's like when I went to school, in the primary school, they said science. And the science, they would say, draw a tree. So you'd say, you draw a tree and say leaves, a branch. But I already knew this. Before I went to school, I already knew that a tree has branches, it has a taproot. I knew these things. But just by putting it in English, what they call education is mainly English. That's what they call. They reward a person by speaking English. A person becomes an MP, a member of parliament, by speaking English. So you have now this elite, which owes its allegiance to Europe and looks to Europe for answers. And listens to the BBC, British Propaganda Corporation. Now you ask yourself, you know, there is no BBC World Service. You can't get it in England. You know that. You can't listen to BBC World Service. Those of you who have been to England, there is no BBC World Service there. Just like Voice of America, you can't get it in America. It is Voice of America for us. Now you ask your question. All these countries, they have Germany, Deutsche Welle in broadcasting to Africa. France International broadcasting to Africa. BBC broadcasting to Africa. You ask yourself a question. What is in Africa that you are so interested in to broadcast even frequency FM? Why are you so interested in your people knowing what is happening to us? You know, it's just like you enter a room and